Okay. And so for the first slide, I'm actually going to turn it over to Lisa Coveney. Oh, I'm sorry, Lisa Murphy, who will be talking about a few helpful notes on what's required while attending this event.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lisa Murphy. I'm one of the community liaisons here. I'm just going to go over some few helpful notes before we start the meeting. When you join as an attendee, your microphone will be muted automatically and you will not have the ability to turn on your camera. The menu at the bottom of the screen will have different icons for microphone. This will be grayed out. We will be able to unmute you for later for questions and comments at the second half of the webinar. To raise your hand, there should be an icon at the bottom of the screen. You can click on that, and you can also click on the reactions to lower your hand at the end of when you want to put your hand down. So those are just a few helpful notes. And like I said, we'll be able to unmute you and when you raise your hand and have questions later on. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Thanks. Okay, and then I'll turn our mission statement over to Angela Hobbs, who's one of our community liaisons.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and read over the mission statement. The mission of Inspectional Service Department, ISD, is to protect the health and safety of Boston's businesses and residential communities, by enforcing building, housing, health, and environmental regulations effectively and consistently. Division breakdown. We have Constituent Services Division, our Building Division, Planning and Zoning Division, Board of Appeals, and Board of Exams, Housing Division, Weights and Measures Division, Environmental Services Division, and our Health Division.
Okay, thank you, Angela. Yep. Then I'll turn it over to Jesus, who's going to do a brief introduction of our Constituent Services Division.
Thank you, Jessica, and good evening, everyone. This is Jesus Garcia, one of the liaisons in the Constituent Services Department. Basically, I just want to explain that our Constituent Services team serves as a bridge between the community and the different division in ISD. Basically, our job is to be the connection between the community and the different divisions in the inspectional services. As well, we work closely with the investigation and enforcement team, who follow up in reports, do inspections, and make sure that everything is up to code in the neighborhoods. So I would like, based on that, I would like to introduce everyone on the team, starting from the left to the right. We have a co-op fund who is a part of the investigation and enforcement team. Then we have Flavio da Vega, who is the director of the Constituent Services. Then we have Tonya Marshall, who is also an investigator from the part of the investigation and enforcement team. And then we have the three liaisons that we are covering different parts of the city of Boston. And maybe I would like to invite my colleagues to mention which are the neighborhoods that each of us are covering. So I don't know, Lisa, you are the first one that I see. So maybe if you want to mention what neighborhoods are you covering in Boston?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everybody. Like I said, my name is Lisa Murphy, and the neighborhoods that I cover are Charlestown, South Boston, West Roxbury, Allston, Brighton, Jamaica Plain, and Fenway.
Thank you. And then we have my colleague, Angela Hobbs, who is also another liaison.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Angela. I cover Dorchester, Roxbury, Rosendale, Hyde Park, Mission Hill, and I'm forgetting one. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I think did I mention Rosendale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rosendale, Roxbury, Hyde Park, Dorchester, Mission Hill, and Mattapan. There we go, Mattapan. Sorry, Mattapan, folks.
And finally, myself, Jesus Garcia. I'm covering the neighborhoods of East Boston, North End, Back Bay, Beacon Hill, South End, West End, and Chinatown. And also helping with the Latino community. If you need anything, happy to help in Spanish, always.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We also put the list of the neighborhoods and the name of each liaison in the chat. You're more than welcome to take that information. Their telephone numbers and email addresses are available. So our hope is to also just make sure we put a name with the face. So if you are reaching out by phone or email and you can't get in touch with someone, just know that you have a liaison in your district that can help to triage issues and handle concerns. So again, thank you everyone for jumping on. So like I said, have about 13, 14 slides. So we'll get right into it. We want to be respectful of your time and then also use this as an opportunity to answer any questions that you may have or concerns. So wanted to start with our guide for ISD constituent services. We recently came out with this a few months ago, and the guide helps to serve as an introduction to inspectional services. Provides a ton of valuable information, such as how to track the status of a development project in your neighborhood, what to do if you have a rodent problem inside your house and also outside, how to register a rental property, and what to expect from an inspection. So a lot of times, you may call us to do an inspection, but what's going to happen when you get there? So we have a lot of great information here, and they're translated into every language. So we have a PDF copy, and then we have printouts that we can share if anyone is interested in obtaining a copy of that. We have the link here, but we can also send you a physical copy if you need it. And then we also have guides that help to, people in our business community open up food establishments, and also a pest management guide. I know rodents are a big issue, not just in Boston, but all over New York, different cities. So we have a multilingual guide that would help to break down, again, pest management mitigation. We also do rodent walks in different neighborhoods. So if you ever, feel like you're seeing a lot of activity in a specific area, just know that there are also inspectors who go out as early as 4 a.m, and they inspect different areas of the city. We do come out much later with the liaisons in your neighborhood. So a lot of times we can, just with rodent activity, we could, trace it back to like properly, improper manage of trash and different things like that, densities. So what we do is try to educate your neighbors, come together and do the walk and really just talk about what some of those issues are that are creating some rodent problems in your neighborhood. So like I said, just happy to help with that. And we do have specific guides that talk about the resources that are available. So our permitting guides, we don't talk about it enough, but love them. For a couple of years, we put this together. We have guides, not just how to navigate the permitting process, but also the zoning board of appeals process as well. So our zoning guides were developed to assist Boston residents, property owners, and contractors through the permitting process from start to finish. They are all online as well, and there are over 13 languages. But, again, we also clarify how Boston's zoning code and the appeals process help to enhance the character of neighborhoods and discourage inappropriate development. So our permitting guide was developed with whether you're, like I said, a landlord, you just bought your house, you're, again, a renter, no matter what, if you ever need to pull a permit or, have your contractor, you're working with a contractor and you want to know what that process is going to look like for both of you all, this is a really, really great guide. So again, they're in multiple languages. We want to make sure people know that we have them. And then wanted to create a slide that talks about permitting tips and links. And so we do, our online permitting portal allows you to submit an application from the comfort of your home. So a lot of times people believe that they have to come in with all this paperwork. You can actually apply for permits at home. There, you could start the online application process, upload documents. So on our inspectional services website, you can find that. If you want to check the status of a permit, which a lot of people call and email about for construction project happening in your city, you can also click here. So I just want to share this live link only because a lot of people don't know about it, so share this tab instead. So if I go here, I know there's a lot of information when you first get on, it's kind of busy, but if you scroll down to the middle part and you type in, I had typed in this address earlier, for example, 21 Tanglewood Road, it'll bring you right to the permits that are open for that. So there's a sprinkler permit that tells you who pulled it, what's happening, when it was issued, when it expires. The status here will let you know that it's open. Again, if you go down and you can look at all of the permits here. There is another permit here. It has that ERT number is the permit number. That means it's a new erection, so it's new construction. And so again, at 21 Tanglewood, they have a 6-unit residential building being built with 9 parking spaces. So again, it allows us to be a little nosy. So if you didn't want to call us in and wanted to check this out on your own, you absolutely could do that. So again, that's as soon as you go up, when you're at the top of the page, you're here, just go right down to the middle and you'll see this tab here where the search tab is at. And we can just type in an address and you should be able to see what's approved in your neighborhood. So I'm going to come out of here and just go back to the second. Okay, go back to the slide deck. Sorry about that. Yep. And then something new, something new that we started as well is that as a contractor, you did the work. If you're ready for whether it's a rough inspection, a final inspection, you can, a lot of times what you had to do in the past was call the inspector, try to track him down. You're leaving voicemails and emails, but our call center can now take that inspection request. And so we take the information, you just need the permit number and you leave us your name and the best way to get in touch with you. And that goes into a report that the inspector actually gets and will call you back. So you could do that over the phone now. We're open from 8 to 4. Your contractor can also do it online through the online portal now, which is very new. Again, instead of trying to track down, inspectors, you can go in and then they will get that report showing that, you're ready for an inspection. And usually within 24 to 48 hours, the inspector will call you back to coordinate that inspection. So we're excited to see that. Excuse me, there's a couple more links here. Of course, if you have a non-emergency complaint, you can use 311. There's an app you can download on your phone. You can also call 311. You can go to 311.com and you should be able to put a complaint in that way as well. So there's a few ways to submit non-emergency complaints. So if you believe someone's working without a permit, for example, a lot of times we see people, they reach out via email over the weekend. Our email isn't monitored over the weekend, so it is really important to put that case into 311. After 4 o'clock when we close, there are what we call on-call inspectors who will go out and actually take a look and verify what's going on. So just because we close at 4 doesn't mean that people aren't going out to actively see what's going on. But again, using 311 is your best tool to report those issues, especially after work hours and on the weekend. So if you'd like to track the status of a development project in your neighborhood as well, you can do that. I just want to share that screen as well. So if I can share this tab instead. This is a Zoning Board of Appeals tracker. So it tracks all of the Zoning Board of Appeals projects that are happening in Boston. So if you typed in the address and you wanted to see if they are done with the community process, if the hearing is over, if a hearing was scheduled, or if the decision was finalized, you'll be able to see it on this link. So like I said, we just really want to make sure people were familiar with the links that are available and the information that we can share with you all. So we'll just go back to the slide deck. Okay. And then I wanted to briefly share that there is a new technology modernization executive order that was released and on August 19th. We are extremely intentional about trying to make sure that things get easier over time, the permitting process, the way we all communicate with each other between different departments. So on August 19th, Mayor Wu signed this executive order to address issues residents have historically faced when interacting with the city. So a lot of times you may have to go one place to get a permit, and then you have to go talk to the fire department who's downstairs, and then you have to go here and there. So we are trying to create a space where all city departments are working together. So that involves some technology updates. And so we're excited about that. Some of the changes that you can see from Inspectional Services is the no in-person visit needed, which again, we talked about being able to apply for permits online. So, online payments is also now available for more permitting application renewals. It's also resulting in a 75% increase in businesses choosing to pay online versus coming in over the last 5 years. And so I also mentioned the fast and simple inspection request. So again, you can call the call center or you can request that inspection through that online online portal. So the same way that you applied for a permit, you can then go on, have your contractor go in or yourself and request that inspection. And so, like I said, that gets put right into a queue for the inspector to see it. He'll receive a report as early as 4 in the morning, and then they will try to call you back as quickly as possible. We also removed the certificate of inspection annual renewals and reoccurring inspection requirements for certain establishments with a capacity of less than 50 people and no alcohol service, which will allow over 1,000 small businesses to collectively save tens of thousands of dollars in fees and countless hours in scheduling and completing inspections. So this update is going to be effective in 2026, but we're really excited to, not only save people time and money, save them a trip coming up. And again, with us having community liaisons and having a constituent services division, we really hope that you guys, people, are intentional about reaching out to us with your concerns so that we can be as helpful as possible. Okay, and then we wanted to talk a little bit about our short-term rentals and rental registration. So for people aren't familiar with a short-term rental, if you're renting out your home for 28 days or less, you need to register your property as a short-term rental. This includes apartments, individual rooms, and entire homes. And you need to register because in January 2019, a citywide ordinance was established with new guidelines and regulations for short-term rentals in Boston. In our housing division, we have a short-term rentals team. So if you believe that someone may be renting their property without applying for this, registering their unit, you can reach out to them. We'll do an investigation as well. But we just try to make sure that everyone in Boston is in compliance with that. And then our rental registration, if you own a rental property, you have to register it with the city of Boston. So a lot of people don't know that as well. The deadline to register is July 1st. But if you did miss that deadline, you still can do it. And people say, well, what if you live in the home and it's owner occupied, you're fine, but you still have to register if the property is vacant, and even if it's being renovated. And if your tenants are relatives and they're not on the deed, you still have to register the unit. And you still have to register the unit if you don't collect rent on the units. And so basically inspectional services will inspect the property once every 5 years just to make sure it's up to standards. And you can register online, by mail, or in person. So that registration fee is $25 for each unit. Each unit for the first time registrations, and $15 for each unit for renewals. So again, we have live links. If you want more information about rental registration, we could absolutely send that to you all. And back, and then this just talks about how to stay connected to our team. We are located at 1010 Mass Ave. On the 5th floor. Our main line is here. We have a housing division. We have multiple divisions. So depending on what your needs are, you can always start with the main line. But if you wanted those specific lines as well, you can call each line if you need to. And then we have our general email address here. That email is monitored by all the liaisons and myself. So usually if it comes my way, I'm going to fix that problem, or our liaisons. And then we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So we do hope that you stay in touch with us. So that concludes our portion of just the speaking part. Again, I really wanted to make this something that, a meeting, kind of like meeting with family and friends, because we really do want to see how we can be most helpful. Does anyone have any questions? I know there was a lot.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, you can either raise your hand. Yeah. Do you see anyone? Oh, yep, we got a hand raised right here. 1 second. Okay. I'll go to Robert first and then Linda. Hi, Robert. I just sent a request to unmute you. Not sure.
I'm sorry. Oh, thank you so much. Good evening.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Quick question. I've got a building permit on my primary residence that's gone through inspections. The final inspection was October of 22.
Okay.
And I was on the city assessor's website today, and I checked our property. It's showing that there are 4 open permits. And I'm trying to determine if what I saw on the assessor's website was accurate, or if it's just delayed to the extent of 3 years in showing that everything has been cleared up.
Yeah, well, what would be shown on the assessor's website and open permits would be a little different. So,
Mhm.
but if you have open permits, it could be like the previous owners had them and didn't close them out. So if you want to, I can put our information in the chat. If you want to send us information, we'd be happy to follow up and just see what's going on. And so if there
Oh,
are open permits, yeah, that need to be closed, we
yeah.
send those ward inspector, the building ward inspector who covers that area. And from
Okay.
there, they'll work with you directly to take care of that. It's
Okay.
no problem. Yeah,
Okay. That's awesome. I believe it's Angela Hobbs that's in Dorchester.
yeah, it is. Yep, yep,
Okay.
yeah.
And I will say that this is not from a previous owner. This is under our ownership.
Oh,
So
okay, okay.
I have the actual signed off permit,
Mm-hmm.
in my hand, and
Yeah,
I can send a copy of that as well. But I know when the inspectors were here signing off, they said they notify the office. And I know people get busy, but I just wanted to
yeah.
make sure this wasn't hanging over us.
Oh, no, yeah, no problem. We'll take care of that. If you send it, like I said, directly to Angela's email or our general inbox, I'll put it in the chat as well. We'd be happy to take care of that. Angela will see it either way, but I'll put it in the chat for anyone. And like I said, they'll see the email, they grab it, whoever that liaison is in that area. And these are things, like I said, just we want to have more conversation like this so people know where to go to get their problem
Right.
solved. Yeah, save you a trip if we can, so thank you.
I,
Yeah, yep.
I appreciate it. It makes life a little easier. Thank you
Right,
so
yeah,
much.
and we appreciate you joining. Yeah, I appreciate your time. Yep.
All
Linda?
right.
Hi, Linda, you're unmuted. Hi, Linda, can you hear us? Okay, not sure. Okay, you just mute. Let me try to unmute you again. Okay, Linda, can you hear us? Might be having some audio issues. If you'd like to put the comment in the chat, you can. Try to give it a minute. I'll keep you unmuted for a second. And Stephanie, did you have a question as well?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. I work for a geotechnical engineering company, and we do a lot of soil borings on, design projects. And we're trying to get some clarification as to whether we need a building permit to perform just soil borings within the city of Boston. We've had some conflicting guidance on that, so I'm just trying to get some clarification on when we would need like an ISD permit.
Okay. Well, you need it. Is anyone from our plans and zoning on? Let's see if any
I feel like they
they don't
usually
have
need a short form for the
yeah,
soil
the
boring.
shorts for
So
that.
you would have
Yeah.
to connect with the ward inspector to make sure.
Yeah. So what we could do, if you want to put your email address or shoot us an email with that address, we can also look into that. Well, we can walk right over to the building
Well,
ward
this
inspector.
is, I guess my question is more general than, it's not for a specific project, but it's just in general.
In general, yeah.
Yeah, like we work on projects. Sometimes we're working in Boston City Streets. Sometimes we're working on private property, and just not clear. I mean, we always pull a permit, but then someone from the DPW told us we don't need to, and so we're just trying to get some
Yeah.
just a
Yeah.
once for all answer.
Well, right, what's the do's and don'ts? Yeah, no, and it will also vary too, because if it's on a private residence versus on the sidewalk, you may need a sidewalk from Public Works, so
Yeah, we always get like a street opening or a trenching permit, but we've been getting both.
even
That and
okay.
like a permit from like a short form. So I guess you're saying put my
If you
email.
put your information in the chat, yeah, or if you want to send us your email, if you didn't want to put it in the chat, we'll be happy to follow up on that. And like even, that'd be a great opportunity to even create like a one pager that gets specific about when it's needed and when
Yeah,
it's
that
not.
would be great. That would be so great if because sometimes I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe it's different if we put a monitoring well in, we need one, and if we don't, we don't. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll put
We'll
my
get that.
email in this chat then. Thank you.
Okay, I appreciate it. Yep, thank you. All right. And then Madison.
Hello.
Hi.
I am part of an HVAC company, and I do the permits for the company. And there's just something that I've noticed with the sheet metal permit. It's and one of the inspectors requested that I pull a sheet metal permit for a property. It was new ductwork, so fair.
Okay.
But when I went in to do the sheet metal permit, I was required to choose a commercial property. Is the sheet metal only for commercial work, or is it? I asked
So it only gave you the option to do it for commercial work when you said when you on the drop down tab?
No, I selected residential, but it forced me to choose a residential option on the permit. On
Oh,
the
okay.
application, I mean. So it was just like
Residential
I was
option.
just confused. I managed to work it out with the supervisor anyways, but it was just
Yeah.
confusing to me. If it was only if sheet metal is only for the commercial properties and I just use short form, that's fine. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
let me. I know Zing. I know you're on the call. Do you have an answer to that? Because if not, we could definitely follow up. It might be a technical issue in the system. We should allow you to check that.
As far as I know, you should be able to choose anything besides commercial. Like when we process the permits on our end, they have if it's residential, they have if it's commercial. It could be a little glitch. I can definitely speak with IT tomorrow and let them know that that's happening. But
Yep.
you should be able to choose anything other than commercial.
Okay. All right. That's
Was
fair.
it recent? Was that recent?
Yeah. And on the note of technical issues or changes to the online system with the technology improvement ordinance, will there be changes to the UI or interface? Like just as an example, simultaneous document uploads or just streamlining the process of using the website? I know it's pretty good, but it can be a little funky in some areas. So
Right, yeah, and that's why I will definitely ask about that as well. I do believe that is the case. There's going to be a lot of great changes, and we're also want to be open to the feedback and say, what are people saying about it? Like, where can we see improvement? So something like that, if it's not something that they're going to be doing, we want to make sure that they are. So I appreciate that comment. Like I said, yeah, we can bring this back, and we know that even our inspectional services website, it's like a lot of information. It's some people mention that it's hard to find things, so we want to make it as easy as possible, right? So I appreciate that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Madison. Yep. And like I said, just continue to stay in touch with us. We'd be happy to check in with you as updates are happening. And if anyone is interested in our newsletter as well, because we will be talking more about those updates, feel free to, I can put that, you can send us an email saying that you're interested in joining, or you can put your information on our website. So sorry, I'll go to Shelby and then Dimitri.
Hello.
Hi. Hey, Shelby.
Thank you. I just put my question in the Q&A box, but I figured I would just ask here. I was wondering, I work for a solar install company, and I was wondering if you had a guide for what type of inspections are required for solar projects in each neighborhood. I've just had a hard time getting clarity on the process for each neighborhood. I know it's a little different depending on the area, so I didn't know if you had a guide or like a one-pager that was really straightforward.
Yeah, for each neighborhood, we do not. And I know, depending on like if it's a historical district, different things like that, they may ask you to do different things, but I can make sure that we get some guidance and send that over to you as well. Have you had any issues like when you've applied for permits where they've asked you for specific things, or I'm assuming it's just the electrical permit and they come out and they do the inspection? Yeah.
Some of them, some projects, it depends on the town, really all over the state would require what's called a rough inspection. And then some only require final inspections, like final building, final electrical. So just having like a straightforward
as if it needs to be reference final. Okay.
Because I've tried calling the inspectors during the office hours and I know they're busy. So it's hard to reach. I've tried scheduling our inspections too through the portal. I've even I haven't had any luck hearing back from an inspector for a few projects either. So
just not at all, or
no, not at all. So then I've been trying during the office hours to connect with them, and no answer and no call back. So having some challenges.
Okay, we'll definitely, like I said, bring that back to the team so that that's a better process overall. So yep, and if you did register, we should have your email as well. So if you didn't want to put it in the chat, we can also follow up and talk about what that guidance looks like down the road.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay, I know there's a few raised hands here. Oh, Jennifer.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, I have a question. I work for a sprinkler company and I'm fairly new to doing permits. I've over the past few weeks, I've been trying to apply for an ISD permit for some sprinkler work. And every time I go to submit, I get an error message saying an error has occurred with the portal online application and to log back in and start over. And I do that and it gives me the error message again. I've called in and left voicemails. I've emailed and I haven't heard back from anyone. Like, is there a workaround to that? I'm sorry?
How long ago did you try to attempt to do that?
This morning was the last time.
Yeah, because we're having issues this morning, but and I know kind of goes in and out, but I will send my.
It's been a few times a week over the past 3 weeks.
So, quick question: are you putting NA for anything? Not writing not available, but actually putting N/A or NA?
No.
Because that's the only time it has. I've noticed that it's had any issues when it comes to sprinkler is if anyone puts NA.
Okay.
But if you have the time, either tomorrow or Friday, if you come in, we have somebody at the front counter with IT who can help you so we can figure out together like what's going on, why you're getting kicked out when you apply for sprinkler permits. Because usually what we found is that's what's been kicking people out is when they put NA anywhere.
Okay. Okay. I'll pay attention to that when I do.
Or even if you try and there's still problems, shoot, put my email and then the general email in the chat. Just let us know and we'll I'll walk over. If you don't have time to come by and say, hey, is there still issues here? Maybe if you can't make it, we could try to do something over the phone as well or virtually. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right, great.
Posted. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yep. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay. And then Mara?
Hi, how are you? Sorry if there's background noise. I'm just asking, I work for a small affordable housing nonprofit in Boston, and we just dropped off our check for a address change, the fee for the address change, and then also a permit review. I'm just curious about what that timeline and also what just the process looks like after that.
Okay. Was it a short form permit request? Was it on a long form? Do you know what type did they give you a permit number by chance?
We do have a permit number. I think it's short form permit.
Yeah. So with short form permits, assuming that you have everything, I know that they're probably within a 3 to 5 day turnaround time. If you come in person as well and you have everything, you can sit at the counter with someone and you can walk out with the permit. Again, assuming that everything checks out and you have all the proper paperwork. So there was a time when they weren't fully staffed, so it was taking them longer to go through those applications because a lot of times if something is missing, they have to send a letter out or, they're sending information saying what's missing and things get kicked back and kind of creates a bottleneck. But again, I think they're working on a 3 to 5 day turnaround time. So if it's been longer than a week for sure, you can always circle back in, or if you are pressed for time, you can come in and then they'll try to get that out the same day.
Got it. I think our project is a little specific. It's a little specific in that I don't think we actually owe ISD, I think, some items on our end from our architects and GCs. Yeah. But
and that will definitely put it up. Yeah. So we'd kind of it would kind of be on pause until everything is turned in. So
got it.
So yeah, that's a lot of times. And that's go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Is there ever piecemeal review? Because I guess the one thing that we're trying to get out of the way is that I think our building has been recorded to have 11 units, but right now, many years ago, but it's actually used for 12 units right now.
So I mean, with as far as the permitting part of it, like I said, if there's an application that goes in, they take a look at all of the information. They would have to, they want to have everything and review it all at once when everything is there. So they wouldn't kind of do it in pieces. But, depending on the scope of work too, can vary as far as what you need. Okay. And then Marie.
Sorry. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. I wanted to know, I had a building that was approved for inspection. We recognized that it did not get a use variance. I worked with the plan examiner. They advised me to submit an ALT. We submitted the ALT. We already have an erect permit. I spoke to ZBA, they're expecting it, and then I get a denial on the ALT, and it says to go submit an erect, and I'm like, I already have an erect. You all, it was an administrative oversight. I'm trying to push it back through, so I dropped the ALT in the chat. I think Flavio, I got a Flavio.
Yeah, we could definitely look at that, because if it is an administrative oversight, we can go ahead and just have it.
Just email that information to me. I'll follow up with the plan examiner.
Yeah, we can talk to them. Okay, thank you.
Everybody's waiting for that. Yeah, I already spoke to ZBA. They're waiting to expedite it. So I just, sometimes when things get denial, if you guys could just be more thoughtful and email the person, because we put a lot of effort, right, into these things.
You're saying there was no notification? Was there no?
Like it just says denial, open an erect. It doesn't say why, nothing, guidance, or so it's just, we put a lot of work in it. And, if you all go through that effort to review a request as well and come to that conclusion, let's just, keep the communication flow going. That's all we ask, so we understand.
Yeah, because some people get a denial. They'll get what's called a refusal letter, and they think that it's. So you're saying this is separate from like the refusal letter?
It closed the ALT. So like, is there a way for it to open it again? Like, because I went through the steps to submit that. So is that wasted effort now? After I was told.
No, like I said, if it's an administrative issue, then we'll definitely look into this and really just get to the bones of what happened there. And, of course, we could try to get everything expedited as quickly as possible, especially since you said if you had everything. So we can definitely talk to our team about that once we get back to the office, just see exactly what was happening there.
Oh, okay. I appreciate it. I'm going to email tonight. Just email that. Right? And I'll forward the email from the plan examiner who provided the instruction for this next step, and hopefully we can get this resolved quickly, because it doesn't need to hang out there.
Exactly. No, absolutely. And like I said, this is why we're because we just want to make sure people know who to go to with his issues, and we want to work with the community to solve these problems.
So appreciative of this. I've just been listening and learning. So thank you all for working evenings to do this.
Yeah. Thank you for
thank
reaching
you.
out. Yep. Thanks. Okay. And then Dimitri?
Hello. Thank you for doing this as well. I really appreciate this. Question for you. So I applied for a short form permit and I'm having a challenge. So I got a response from the clerk, and they didn't read everything correct, which is fine. So the front counter staff reviewed it and they gave me some requests that don't necessarily apply in my particular case. I was wondering, do you respond online, or how do you get back to the front counter staff who made the review?
If you think there was a discrepancy there, it can be an email, it could be a phone call. Usually the email is a little bit easier, because then we can take that information, and again, whatever your concerns are, it goes right to their email. They'll take a look at it and then they'll be in touch. Like I said, a lot of times they're placing notes in the online permitting portal, so you want to check those out as quickly as possible. But if you do believe there was a mistake, if you are pressed for time, definitely come in, because if it's something quickly that can be done, you could, that permit can be issued to you that same day. If you have some time to wait, because essentially what's happening is they're helping people who are coming in, and then also doing things online. So it's a go. But if you are pressed for time, you can definitely come in. But we can try to sort that out for you if you initiate that through email. If you'd like to reach out
Who
to
do I email, if I could ask?
I'll put it in the chat too. It's going to be, if you're sending it directly to the permitting team, it's ISD permits with an S at boston.gov. And that'll go right to the Counter One permitting team. Yep.
Gotcha. And then I just basically put in my permit number, the one that I applied with.
Yep.
And just
Exactly.
the
Just
situation.
like going on. Yeah, and you put your contact information, and like I said, if it's a phone call, they'll reach out. If it's something that they can easily fix, they'll do it, get it back to you. So if you want to start there.
And just question for you, since I have you, maybe you can answer this. So I'm a licensed contractor and I own a property in Boston that's a multifamily. So they're asking me to sign a contract, but if I'm the contractor and it's my property, would I sign a contract with myself for the repairs and the renovations?
Yes, you would.
Okay. All right.
If you're the contractor and you're the homeowner, but you're going to do the work with your CSL license, you will have to have a contract. It can be from you to you, but it would need a contract if you're going to go ahead and use your CSL, especially if it's more than 1 to 2 family. If it's a 1 to 2 family home, then you can just do it as a homeowner. But if it's 3 and up, yes, you will need to have a contract, and it's okay. It's just between you and you.
No worries. I just want to make sure. One last question, since that was an amazing answer. Thank you for that. I don't carry an HIC license because I don't actually offer this work outside of things that I do for myself. How do I just email you guys saying that I don't, because when I get my CSL license, I waive the HIC, but that's one of the requests that was made for
that. I would try to speak with an inspector because that doesn't go based off of my counter. It's up to the inspector.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah. And Dimitri, if you send us that email address too, we could check with the inspector for you, or either have them have a phone call with you, and just need to go through that process so it's as smooth as possible when you start.
That's amazing. Thank you. I'm going to do it right now. Thank you so much for that. Really amazing.
No
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Okay, Madison, and then Shelby.
Hi again. I just wanted to ask a quick question. Like I said, I handle HVAC. We've been doing a lot of ductless projects in Boston. I just wanted to ask, is a short form required for ductless projects or any other kind of permit, or is it just electrical? There's a lot of towns in Massachusetts that are fine with just electrical. I didn't know if Boston was one of them.
Yeah. No, the answer to that is I'm not sure, but I can figure out. I do believe it's just the electrical, but I will get that question answered for you if you want to put your information in the chat. Yeah.
Because I've been doing short form permits. It's just I can.
Okay. Yeah. So we wish we had a building inspector to come around. We'll make sure everyone's on them the next time. I apologize. Yeah. Thanks.
It's fine.
All right. And then Shelby.
Hi again. Thank you. Just one more question regarding a solar permit. We were asked to reach out to ISD permits at boston.gov regarding one of our permits, but we haven't heard back. Is there someone? Oh, it looks like I also put this in the Q&A, and
I just sent you the info.
A contact. Okay, perfect. Actually, that is the contact that we've been speaking with, and then it was Carlos Santana, and then he asked us to reach out to ISD permits. And then we haven't heard back from ISD permits. We were previously already speaking with Carlos.
Okay.
Do me a favor and send me that.
Change?
Yeah. I'll put my email here.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, Shelby. And Maurice. Hi, Maurice. Do you have a question? I see your hand is raised. I try to unmute you. Okay. We can't hear you if you are if you're talking.
You hear me now?
We can hear you. There you go. Thank you.
Yeah. I had a permit and the contractor came and the inspector refused to go on the roof because it's high up. And the inspector asked me if I was all set with it. I said yes. And now I have a leaky roof after paying the guy to do the roof. And I followed up and I've gotten bad little response. Lisa Page says that they can't do anything because the guy isn't registered in Boston. He only has a state permit. I mean, is that my problem? That's more of an internal issue than me. I mean, I own the property. Don't I have a right to have to have him, get fined or his license revoked through the city of Boston? What I mean.
Did you check with the attorney general's office as well?
If he's it sounds like he's not licensed with the city, so we can't really put a complaint against his permit. So I did see that. I did see that question,
but I mean, why should I? I mean, they are not helping me. I mean, why should I have to go through them? I have the property in Boston. I mean, that is an internal matter.
Okay. Yeah, let's follow up on that. If you want to share your contact info, so because I can try to check with some folks internally as well, just to see what additional resources may be available to you. Just in terms of see, the liability concerns around that. So, like I said, yeah, I'll definitely we could do some research and just see if there's
It's very important for folks to do some background research before you hire a contractor to do some work. You can look at their records, see if there's any complaints against them before you hire. So that's one of the important thing to do before you hire someone to do a job.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. Yep. Carol. Sorry, Carol. I sent a request to unmute you. Hi, Carol. Let us know if you have a question. If not, that concludes the question portion of the meeting. So again, hold on, your hand. Okay. Maurice, sorry, did you have a question, Maurice? Another question?
Yeah, I mean, how's the way we go forward? I mean, I realize he's registered state, but I mean, how do I know when I got the contractor that he's not registered with you guys? It's an internal problem. Why should I have to forward to the state? I mean, the property's in Boston.
Okay, yep. So we do hear your concerns there. If you want to leave us your information, we could follow up offline, just so that we could, like I said, just talk about some different options that may be available to you. But we do hear you for sure. So I understand.
I sent an emails to Lisa Page, and she didn't help me. She just said go to the state.
Okay. What neighborhood is it located in?
It's in Bay Village.
In Bay Village. Okay. Yeah, we'll have that liaison.
It's very dangerous. I paid for snow guards so that when the ice dams happen, that people don't get injured. It's violation of the roof not to have snow guards in it. And I paid.
Yep. Yep. So
there is a form that you can put in a complaint through the state, but since he's not licensed with the city, ISD can't really. But there is a form that you could put in a complaint to the state. Typically, ISD doesn't get involved into matters between developers.
But I mean, it's against CMRs. I mean, you have to have a snow guard on a roof, and he took the money I paid him and put the snow guard on his own house.
Oh wow. Okay. So again, yeah, we do hear you. Like I said, we just want to be respectful of people's time, so we can follow up afterwards just to talk about that. Like I said, if you want to leave your information in the chat, like I said, we can have someone follow up just to talk about some different options from you from here. So it's very unfortunate. And like I said, so that concludes the speaking portion of our meeting. And again, we do hope that you do stay in touch and stay connected with us. We are hoping to do this at least 1 to 2 times a month as well. So if you do see it happening again, and we'll also try to do it in different hours just to make sure that it is easy for multiple people to access. But we thank you for your time. And again, this was recorded. So if you would like a copy of the video, or if you have follow-up questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. Thank you so much.